A lot of people like the Ravens' chances this year, Dan.
First of all, you start with that defensive there, as Vern, and you're automatically in it with that group.
Gerback, little pressure from Chad Bratzky. Finds Alexander, moves it out to the 49. Jeff Burris is there to make the tackle, a yard short of the first down.
Gain of 5 yards on the play.
Man coverage all the way here, letting him have the inside. Burris, so you see that extra little step and the little drag with his right foot that buckled a bit was what allowed Alexander to make the break to the sideline uncontested.
3rd and 1. Gerback back to throw on first down. Finds Alexander. Chad Cota misses the tackle. And Alexander is able to get inside the 40 for a 13-yard gain.
Well, it has started to rain here at Arrowhead, and I don't think any of these 78,000 people here, all special teams, a wonderful pass receiver out of the fullback position.
Gerback with a play fake. Dodges a tackle, comes right side. Alexander coming back in front of Jeff Burris, and that'll be short of the first down.
And what a wonderful illustration of a receiver coming back to help his quarterback. Derek Alexander must have come back close to 10 yards when he saw Elvis Gerback struggling in the pocket. A breakdown right up the middle. Watch how far he comes back up the field. Keeps coming, keeps coming. And even though, he doesn't get first down yardage, that's the only way that was going to end up a completion by him coming back that far. Wasn't that big of a pop. Not for a big, strong guy like Elvis.
Back split. Straight drop back. Gerback in the end zone. Alexander, touchdown. He beat the rookie David Macklin. Impressive drive.
Yes, it was. And that was an impressive passing play between Elvis Gerback and Derek Alexander.
Stojanovic to tie it up. Done.
This has to be a laser from Gerback, making the break, fake to the outside. Here he comes back to the post. And look at that pass, just a little bit on the rear hip, but Alexander brings it home. We're going to get a good look at what a splendid catch this is from Derek Alexander. The ball's a little behind him, and he really has to fight Macklin for the football. For a moment, it looks like Macklin's going to rip it loose. But Derek Alexander, who, of course, has caught a lot of passes from Elvis Gerback as they went to college together at the University of Michigan.
Short kickoff.
Gonzalez shifts over to the right side of the offensive line. Some movement in the backfield. Gerback will throw. Fires and complete to Alexander. A first down for Kansas City at the 35-yard line. They gain 12. Blaine Bishop there to make the stop.
Nice catch by Derek Alexander, but great protection by the offensive line, allowing Elvis Gerback to step up in the pocket. Derek Alexander, he was their go-to guy the last few years at the wide receiver position, but now with drafting Sylvester Morris, they've got 2 guys on the outside that are 6'2" in Alexander, 6'3", and Sylvester Morris puts pressure on the shorter defensive backs.
Alexander had a touchdown catch last week in the loss. Pump fake. Gerback will spin around. Gerback, another pump.
Season in the NFL, but he has the maturity.
First-round pick back in 1997. There's the pump fake from Gerback. Now circling. Gerback trying to set things up. And caught! Derek Alexander, for a moment, it appeared as if it would be intercepted. But Alexander able to bring it in. A gain of 11. Denard Walker had the opportunity on the far sideline.
Elvis Gerback using his scrambling ability. Great feet, but keep an eye right here on Derek Alexander. There he stops, makes a little hint to the outside, all of a sudden break up the field, stop, come back and get the football. Great route by Alexander, but Denard Walker.
3. Lockett the motion man. Gerback, moving pocket, throws on the run, complete. Derek Alexander. And he's brought down at the 17. Gerback gives the first down signal. Roll and Bishop combine on the stop. And a gain of 7.
I'll tell you what, Victor Riley against the freak, Javon Kearse, he just ate him up on that play. Even though quarterback Elvis Grbac rolled out, it was a tiny pattern, he sat back, didn't see his
Start the fourth quarter. Two teams looking for their first wins on the young season. And a 1st and 10 for Kansas City at the Tennessee 16. Cloud is in the backfield. Grbac wants to throw it. Guns to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Derek Alexander. Chiefs take the lead.
Touchdown, Kansas City.
What a strange game this has been.
Iron one-on-one on the outside. All it is a hit and run to the post against Samari Roll. But quarterback Elvis Grbac had plenty of time to throw the ball. No pressure by the Tennessee Titan rush. Great throw, great catch. But Samari Roll, we saw him in the timeout. He was grabbing his right shoulder. Maybe he had a stinger on the play because he did not play that play to perfection. He gave the inside away to Derek Alexander.
Extra point from Stojanovic.
Inside away to Derek Alexander.
Extra point from Stojanovic. Who would have believed in this matchup that Tony Gonzalez, Javon Kearse, and Eddie George would all be non-factors in this game? Kansas City is leading the defending AFC champions. 14-7. We're just underway in the fourth. This roster and a great story. And he's been able to come back from the Achilles injury last year. Richardson is now the starter. Play fake. Grbac. Plenty of time. Fires. Wide open Alexander. Into San Diego territory and down at the 36. Michael Dumas was forced to make the stop, the free safety.
And it's plays like this that make Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator, very comfortable. Look at the separation between line and quarterback. Grback's able to drop back deep, look down the field with great vision. A nice route by Alexander, but it's execution on everybody on offense, giving the quarterback time, running a precise route, putting the ball in the money.
1st and 10. The 2nd and 11 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Grbac, quick throw on the slant. Alexander able to bring it in with Dumas and Harrison combining to make the stop, a pickup of 7.
And that's about the way that you're going to have to attack the defense of the Chargers, over the middle, the quick slants.
By that loss at the end of the regular season against the Oakland Raiders last year that knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs. On a 1st and 15, play action. Grbac will throw it on 1st down. Floats it to the outside to Alexander. And he is trampled down at the 32. It'll be shy of a 1st down. He had to get to the 35, a pickup of 13. Kansas City
experience in that backfield. And I think he's got the ability to move the pile a little bit better than the other guys.
On the field right now, it's Richardson on a 3rd and 6. Grbac waiting, connecting. Alexander moving forward to the 8-yard line, and a 1st down for Kansas City. 1st and goal inside the 10. They picked up 12.
I am not a pretty play by Elvis Grbac. That wasn't a pretty throw. It was down. It was to the opposite side where the back was going, but a fantastic job by the snot blowers right here, the offensive lineman. Look at Elvis Grbac. He plants, looks to his left. Not there. Wants to throw it again. Not there. The 3rd time is the charm. He puts the ball. It's a little low, but Alexander comes up with a reception for the 1st down. Great patience on the part of Elvis Grbac of waiting the route out.
Your snap counts are tough. Look at him waving at the crowd, and here they come.
From the 13, 3rd down and 6. Grbac going the pass, caught for a 1st down by Derek Alexander out to the 22-yard line. Brought down by linebacker John Mobley. It's a gain of 9 on 3rd and 6. Let's check downstairs with Beasley Reese.
Hey guys, Elvis Grbac told me that it's special coming to Mile High. He said it can snow, rain, sleet, and then get hot all in the same quarter, and that's what we've seen here. Now it's a brilliant sun and a beautiful day at Mile High. Back upstairs.
And this is the 40th and final visit for the Chiefs to Mile High Stadium. Good 1st quarter for Grbac so far. Tony Gonzalez caught 4 passes on the opening drive. The Chiefs lead at 7-3, and that's the end of the 1st quarter. We'll return to Denver's Mile High Stadium right after this message. It's on top 22-17. Kevin Harlan along with Randy Cross and Beasley Reese. 2:27 to play in the 4th quarter. The Chiefs have trailed most of the game. Elvis Grbac has thrown a couple interceptions, one of which was returned by Ray Crockett for a 26-yard touchdown. Mike Anderson a 16-yard touchdown run. 3 Denver Joe Nedney field goals. The Chiefs have gotten a career day out of their tight end, Tony Gonzalez. Elvis Grbac with his team at the 22 of Denver with a 1st and 10.
Except for the first drive when they scored a touchdown. This is the best drive for Elvis in this offense. The key, Gonzalez down the seam.
Gerback looking deep. Wide open. He's got Alexander. Touchdown. 22-yard touchdown pass. And the Chiefs have taken the lead over Denver with 2:21 to play.
What a nice play by Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator. What did I just say before that snap? The key was Gonzalez down the seam. What do? They run Gonzalez down the right seam, and they run Alexander down the left seam. Crockett can't stay with him. There's no help inside, and it's a touchdown for Kansas City. And the reason there's no help inside is there were two guys on Gonzalez. Sure, to do that, he's got to put the right arm on the ground.
The Kansas City Chiefs have scored 9 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. And they just got a touchdown pass to Alexander, capping an 8-play, 80-yard drive.
Watch Tony Gonzalez go down the seam. Romanowski's got him. Al Wilson's got him. There's no help inside. And instead of going to this seam, they go to this seam and get a touchdown.
Spectacular catch in a pool of Denver defenders.
Who leads?
Bobby Bell, Ed Buddy in the first 5 rounds.
From the 37-yard line, here's Gerback. Throwing deep, has a man open, underthrows Derek Alexander, who comes back to make the catch, and is tackling at the 26. He had to adjust and stop and make the grab and move it downfield.
Not a very well-thrown ball, but a super adjustment by Derek Alexander. He's got Willie Williams beat here, sees the ball is underthrown, does not run away from it, and he is down there by contact. Good pass protection on the play action by Gerback. This is number 76, John Tate. He's an agitator. He'll block.
Play resumes. First down, Kansas City. Catch made. That is Derek Alexander for a first down, a gain of 11 to the KC 40. Tackled by Kuntz.
Well, if the first play of the second half for the Chiefs is any indication what they're going to do in the second half, they opened up the formation that time. They put Gonzalez out wide and Alexander in the slot working over the middle. Still not running.
Dominating in time of possession. They've had the ball twice as much. Frank Moreau is now in the game, the rookie running back. Elvis is going to air one out, and it is caught. Exactly what they needed. Derek Alexander inside the 30, out of bounds at the 22, pushed out by Reggie Tugg.
I threw that no 40-yard pass stat down just to prod the boys.
And from his goal line, no less. Talk about a great college rivalry, Michigan and Ohio State. Alexander from Michigan working on Sean Springs of Ohio State. Springs has got great speed here. He loses track of the ball. Perfect throw by Gerback. And Tung's got to come over to make the tackle. The play action gave Gerback time to throw that ball, and he couldn't have thrown it better.
You know, Alexander had 3 touchdowns last year, 86, 81, and 82 yards long. The guy's deadly inside his own 20.
Now Seattle winded defensively, trying to get the right personnel in this situation, forced to use a timeout with 2:55 left in the third. So when they're down by 10, it's exactly what Seattle needed. The long gainer here going for 73.
If you can't run the ball, you might as well let these athletes that you have playing receiver make the plays. Give Gerback time to throw, and then as Dennis said, Alexander is a big play receiver.
You know, Alexander's parents have never missed a home game for him in high school, college, or in the pro level.
That's amazing.
Huh?
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Here's for the Alexanders.
Offensive line does its job. 3 touchdowns from scrimmage of 80 or more yards in 1999, so he's a big play guy. And he turns in the biggest play of Kansas City's name anyway. And now they give the ball to Kimball.
Much better than 2.6.
Second down and 5 from the 17-yard line. Gerback throws. Great catch in the end zone by who else? Alexander.
Well, his mom and dad are glad they came tonight.
17-yard reception after the 73-yard pass sets it up. Stoyanovich for the extra point. Sauerbrunn puts it down.
Derek Alexander is going to get his 4th touchdown catch of the year. He's going to beat Sean Springs again. But Springs has help on the inside, right over the top of George Kuntz, and before Jay Bellamy can get there. It's like the Seahawks knew where Gerback was going to go with this pass. He didn't care. He's throwing it up high, letting Alexander, who's 6'2", go up and get it, make a spectacular catch. Good move to the inside. Springs gets away with a little shove there and then can't make a play on the high pass. Beautiful play by Gerback and Alexander.
His 4th touchdown catch of the season. Only Jimmy Smith with 6 and Isaac Bruce with 5 have more at this point.
And then look at the shot by Bellamy, Al, right under the chin. Didn't bother Alexander at all. And you know our Steadicam guy is working hard. He's right there with him. Way to go, Zach.
Elvis says, yes, sir. Well, the two of them hooked up last week for the game-winning touchdown pass at Denver.
Here's the play that set up the drive. Not a bad drive for Derek Alexander and the Chiefs. This long bomb got them rolling.
Wide open at the 18-yard line. His man Alexander to the 15, first down, Kansas City.
Play action pass gives Gerback a lot of time to throw. And again, it's a zone defense by the Seahawks. And Alexander is just having a career day. Maybe not so much in numbers of receptions, but the type of receptions. Big plays everywhere.
Looks like Elvis just stopped thinking about it and started winging it.
5 catches, 153 yards for the man in motion, Alexander. Now they go back to the ground. They give it to Mike Cloud. And Cloud diving for the pylon. Gets in. Touchdown. Season at the most opportune of times. KC on top by 7. That's the TD again here.
The reason Mike Cloud started this game, because Gunther says when he gets to the outside, he's got the speed to break one. Watch the effort by Willie Williams to keep him out of the end zone. Grabs his face mask. Now the effort to get in the end zone. The ball extended by Cloud, and he gets help from Derek Alexander on the outside with a block on his former teammate, Reggie Tung, and also Tony Gonzalez gets involved. He gets a down block here on the end, Lamar King. Great job on the offense.
Usual manner. Marcus Allen joins us now from Kansas City. And Marcus, what about the Chiefs' new look offense?
Well, Jim, in recent years, Kansas City has lived and died with its ground attack. In fact, since 1995, only 2 teams, the Steelers and the Broncos, have put more emphasis or rushed the ball better than Kansas City. But this season, with the help of Tony Gonzalez, Derek Alexander, and rookie Sylvester Moore, Kansas City has reinvented its passing game.
Pull back. Wait a minute. Go right. Stop. Track 45 left. Stop.
You guys are putting the ball down the field and scoring quickly. I mean, you guys got to be thrilled by that because this is
you know, this is the changing of the guard. Kansas City started. You guys are like Air Coryell now, man.
Hey, don't get it twisted though. They still want to run the ball. Right? They still gonna run it. Jimmy Ray is always talking about running that boom and 15 bob.
He goes man, we say man. Come up to the line thinking man. Bob, cut back, bounce. Here we go. Ready?
The people have the mindset that Kansas City is going to run the ball, and that's what opens up those long passes downfield, the play-action pass. So you go 3rd down and 2. Are they going to run it? They're going to give it to Tony Richardson, or are they going to go up top and give it to one of the other guys? So it really puts the defense almost in a guessing game in what they're going to do.
Ryan Coleman on that TJ Flake throw. Bunch strong right. Bunch strong right.
Now if they're going to rotate to the coverage to the strong side, take DA and Tony away, and you got one-on-one with Sylvester on the backside on the corner, and that's a great matchup because of his size. So they've got to really almost kind of go vanilla defense.
I want to get that matchup out there where I can go against a little guy, where I can go against a safety, or I can get a linebacker out in space. I mean, we try to use that to our advantage all the time.
You know, they can't hone in on one guy. They can't double team. They can't rotate the coverage to one guy. And especially with Tony going down the middle of the field, it puts pressures on the safety, so it frees these guys up one-on-one coverage.
What do you bring to the passing game? I mean, what is your feel like your biggest asset? I mean, is it the run after the catch, or I mean, because you can take a distance.
I'm a big play. Either I'm going deep or the short passes, and make a short pass into a long one. And then every now and then, I'll get a guy creeping up on me, and we'll play action, and I'll get deep.
How's the rookie in the huddle? When you catch 3 touchdowns in one game, is it 3? How many rookies have done that? That's pretty special.
I never have.
Tony, have you?
No, not even close. I think I had 2 my whole year.
That day. You know, I was fortunate enough to be on the receiving end of some great passes. Just was able to do the best I can.
The cat in the house, going to the house for the 3rd time in this game.
They come on the sideline, we can beat them on this, we can get them on this, get them on this. And that's what you want as a quarterback, guys that want the ball constantly. And that's, as a quarterback, you get confident with that.
Man, the safety and the corner just took off up in there. Now it's like...
Once these guys started making these plays, they can't double team. So that's the only thing I've been searching for. I think with our running game, the better it gets, and the better we get, and Elvis is throwing the ball perfect. I mean, really, it's going to be hard to stop us.
He reaches out, and it is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City!
Well, those guys have certainly helped the Chiefs' passing game. The one guy...
Chiefs have some time to work with. Just over a minute to play in the first half. Deep drop by Gerback. Sideline throw. Catch made by Alexander, and creating after the catch. Charles Woodson took a risk. And it cost the Raiders. 17-yard connection.
And I'll tell you what, Ian, Charles Woodson took a risk. He was off by 1/8 of a second on this play. Elvis Gerback just learned one thing. If you're going to throw that out, you got to put mustard on that ball, because the speed and the closing speed of the defensive secondary. Watch how close this ball is right there, just off his fingertips. When you throw that out in the NFL, you better have zip on it, because the defensive backs are just too quick and they come up and play it very hard.
Gerback stepping up. Strong throw and catch made by Alexander. So Kansas City with 2 plays moved the football all the way to the 27-yard line. That one covered 16 yards. A timeout. Nasdaq, a good block up front.
One thing Jimmy Ray, the offensive coordinator, is allowing Elvis Gerback to do, call his own plays in 2 minutes.
Clock continues to move on a 2nd and short. Gerback finds Alexander in the sideline, and a new set of downs for Kansas City to work with at the 16-yard line. That's a 4-yard pass.
They started about 3 weeks ago giving Elvis the freedom of calling his own plays in a 2-minute situation, because he has a standing tight end in Tony Gonzalez.
7 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. 1st and 10 at the Oakland 47. Stay in the air. Gerback, timing pattern to the outside, and Alexander makes the catch cleanly and forced out of bounds at the 22. That's a 25-yard pass and catch.
And you talk about dropping the ball in the bucket. He throws this ball past Eric Allen in front of Tony Dorsett, Anthony Dorsett, right there to his wide receiver, Derek Alexander. That's a fantastic pass. No matter how you cut it, when you throw the football, you throw it over one defender in front of the other one and drop it right in the basket to your receiver. Great job by Elvis Gerback.
And bang, bang, 2 plays, Kansas City.
Now they're back in their own territory.
And back to their original line of scrimmage. On a 1st and 25, Gerback airing it out into Oakland territory, and Derek Alexander able to get back some of the yardage they've lost out on because of the various penalties. That was good for 14 yards.
Elvis' career, that was the 9th interception thrown by Kurt Warner this year. And on 1st down, Elvis Gerback rolling out, And wide open is Derek Alexander, who's got a 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. So the Chiefs grabbed the early momentum, and that was a gain of 22.
That's smart. That's very smart. They open it up just by moving things. What you're going to do with Elvis Grbac in his feet is you're going to stretch that defense. Tony Gonzalez is a major key in their pass offense, so they use that to their advantage. And they draw the coverage back underneath and open the pass right behind him.
Better.
Ten to nothing in favor of the Chiefs, and picking up their 2nd interception. And here is a screen pass and an option pass, and it's caught. Sylvester Morris to Derek Alexander, and the Chiefs are unloading their bag of tricks and have a 1st and goal after the 33-yard gain.
They didn't catch anybody off guard. Keith Lyle saw it. He just couldn't get there in time. Here's the key. He has to be behind the quarterback, which he clearly is. That makes him eligible to throw. Now watch as you go down. Lyle is right there. The ball's well thrown. Everything you could do right, they did right and did it perfectly.
So the Chiefs threatening to open up a...
Right there. That's his left hand. And they're looking at the left hand, but you saw as he ran out that he was holding his right. And his tape in the right.
Gerbach's pass, and it's caught by Derek Alexander in a 1st down to midfield. So the replay showed he was flexing the left hand. They were working on the left hand. Lo and behold, a broken finger on the right hand, and then you see Warner encouraging Trent Green over there.
Meanwhile, they better forget about Kurt Warner with Trent Green and get this defense on the other side, because like Chris Collinsworth said, and we know that Gunther Cunningham was, of course, listening to the halftime show, as most NFL coaches do, and he's taken his advice, and he's coming out throwing the football.
Here's a plug.
It's just the truth.
1st down, Gerbach looking one way, fires up the middle, another completion to Derek Alexander, and absolutely right, as Gunther Cunningham told Pam, they're not going to hold back in a 20-yard pass to the 30, and another 1st down.
Well, he wanted to go out to the right, and he was able to sit back there and decide, no, I don't like that coverage. Hey, there's somebody in the middle. I'll throw it to Derek Alexander. Why? Excellent pass protection. That means they're not getting any pressure defensively.
And remember, the Chiefs have not committed a turnover in this game. Double tight end, 1st down and 10, play action pass, and going deep into the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown to Derek Alexander. What a show by Alexander on this drive. A 30-yard pass play, and we hope he's all right.
Touchdowns make you always feel a little better. I just think he just fell right on the ball. Looked like you hit him right in the solar plexus, and that hurts a little bit. But when you score on the end of falling on one, you get a little bit better. Watch him to the inside. He's going to work the inside, causing the corner to sink. Now the corner's got to get depth. As he doesn't see the receiver pull him, he's looking back inside. Now he feels that. And Todd Light just got beat by the feet.
Beat by the feet. Todd Peterson with the extra point, and it's good. And the Chiefs have now opened up a 34-14 lead. Derek Alexander with his 5th touchdown catch. He leads the Chiefs in that department. Fine throw by Gerbach.
That's one of the keys, is doing all these little things right, and Tony Gonzalez is very good at that.
3rd down and 2. Gerbach, deep drop, winding up, going deep. He's got Alexander. A foot race to the 20. Springs has him from behind. A flag is down. Touchdown as it stands. 59 yards, but we'll have to wait and see what the flag is all about. Alexander caught one last week against St. Louis, and he may have caught another here against Seattle. He caught a 73-yard touchdown pass earlier this season against Seattle on Monday night. Was it a face mask?
I haven't got a signal yet.
It was.
There you go, yeah.
And a touchdown for Kansas City. A 59-yard touchdown reception by Derek Alexander.
And when the Kansas City Chiefs go downfield, they like to go downfield and play action.
On the tackle,
15 yards will be enforced on the kickoff.
You see him breaking away right here. They've got everybody moving to the one side. When Kansas City attacks you vertically, they're going to do it through their play-action passing game. That's why it's important for them to pound the ground in that running game and establish the run to get the respect of the linebackers.
33rd catch of the season by Alexander, a touchdown. Now here's the extra point by Todd Peterson, who for 5 years was a record-setting kicker here in Seattle. Alexander has torched Seattle's secondary twice in 2 games this year. The Chiefs on top. The first quarter. The big play, a 59-yard touchdown pass from Gerback to Alexander. We'll return to Husky Stadium in Seattle right after this message from your local CBS station.
By disguising a coverage and slipping in there to confuse Elvis Gerback and make the interception. There he shows you the athletic ability with the great range coming all the way from the stripes over to the sideline.
Shy of the 50, 2nd down and 10. Gerback got a block from Richardson down the side. He's got Derek Alexander again. He breaks a tackle of Williams. He'll slide into the end zone. A flag is down at the 35. As it stands now, a 50-yard touchdown reception. Gerback anxiously awaits the call from Ron Blum. It's in. It's against Seattle. And Gerback gets his
Illegal
second
contact.
touchdown pass of the day.
27 defense. Penalties decline. Touchdown.
Elvis Gerback has thrown 2 or more touchdowns now for 6 consecutive games.
Derek Alexander just gets behind Willie Williams, but look at right there at the end of the play. You've been beat. At least make sure you make that tackle and make them line up and make another play to get into the end zone. The game of football always breaks down to blocking and tackling. Blocking on the offensive side of the ball, tackling on the defensive side of the ball. Some poor tackling in the secondary by Willie Williams right there.
Peterson's extra point is up again. And in, Alexander has caught 2 touchdown passes today from Elvis Gerback. And the Chiefs now back on top, 14-10.
Well, especially in the second half, those timeouts become very valuable. You don't want to waste them. So, yeah, you would love to be able to go to the booth and have somebody with access to replay to guide you on which ones you challenge.
Best starting position today for Kansas City. From the 46, 1st and 10. Play action, good block by Tate. There's the pass by Gerback, caught by Alexander, grabbed by Kerry Joseph. Down at the Seattle 40. It's a pickup of 14. Another Kansas City first down.
And again, it is off the play action fake. You'll see the little play action fake here as the play starts, and your receiver will be coming in from the right of the screen. There's Derek Alexander coming across. They've got the vertical route deep to clear out that middle zone. If Kansas City's running play action, they're going to take a shot down the field. They're not going to dump it off to their backs or a receiver in the flat.
He already has his 19th, make it 18th career 100-yard receiving day, and a 2-yard gain by Kimball Anders as he tries to carve something up the middle on Seattle's defense.
I don't know how that is considered interference.
So in essence, a 19-yard penalty. Fake to Anders, 1st down and 10. Great time for Gerback. Throws a bullet, which is caught by Alexander near the 17, 18-yard line of Seattle. Gain of 14, another Kansas City first down.
And as you pointed out, Elvis Gerback just continues to play unbelievable today. And the way he has hit his stride recently, ever since coming out of that San Diego game where he put up the 5 interceptions and Gunther Cunningham started to open up the offense, he's just played phenomenal. He's rose to the occasion. He's got Derek Alexander. He's got Tony Gonzalez, Sylvester Morris, and Kevin Lockett filling in for him today. He's got a lot of weapons.
From the 17, the 6th rated of the Raiders, 1st and 10. Gonzalez 40 yards away from history. Fake handoff, great play action by Gerback. Rush comes on the throw, caught by Derek Alexander. Leaping with the grab, the first catch today. A flag is down at the 41-yard line. They mark the ball now at the 30 of the Raiders, pending the penalty flag. 19-yard gain as it stands.
Going into this game, Elvis was going to have to be patient. The Raiders don't give up the big ball. That's been a big part of their offense, and he's got to realize he's going to have to dunk the ball underneath to open up that deep coverage.
Raider 45, 1st and 10. Gerback again going underneath and hitting his #1 receiver, Derek Alexander, for a gain of about 8. Down to the Raiders 36. Woodson on the tackle.
Derek Alexander has been their big play receiver. You can see the numbers from last week, 34.3 yards per catch. He had a 2 over 50 yards, and he's been the guy all season long that has given him that deep ball threat. But right now, Oakland's doing a very good job.
Down and 3. Chiefs need a score here in the worst way. Gerback, good time, throws, and it's caught on the sideline by the angular Alexander, who leads the AFC in receiving yards per catch. 11 yards right there. Out of bounds at the 10 of the Raiders.
And this shows you the confidence that Elvis Gerback has. He has Torrey James right in front on this ball, but he's able to get it up over his head to Derek Alexander. He does a little tightrope down the sidelines to get him a few more yards.
Chiefs have one timeout, 1st and goal, right at the Oakland 10.
If they have no running game threat, so why put the 8th man up there? Drop back and make them beat you in the running game.
Back to the 39, 2nd and 16. There's a block by Shields and a pass caught by Alexander at the 40-yard line of Oakland. Gain of 21 yards on the play. And they get the first down. He's been quiet, but you know, you wait for him to bust free, like right there.
And especially what Gunther told us yesterday, the fact that they keep the same protection, they keep the same action in the backfield, but they'll tinker with the routes on the outside. So what Oakland is seeing is the same setup of the play, but the patterns are all different. This is the first time they're going to be seeing those today.
Out of them
numbers right now.
2nd down, goal at the Raider 9. Alexander on the move. Gerback to the end zone, wide open, the aforementioned Alexander, touchdown Kansas City. His 3rd in 2 weeks, a 9-yard strike. No yellow on the field. Will the Chiefs try for 2?
And you can see Tony Gonzalez and Marquez Pope jawing a little bit on the outside. I think Marquez was happy that Tony didn't get it, but all the concentration on Tony Gonzalez really lets Derek Alexander slip into the end zone uncovered by anybody. Obviously a coverage blown in that situation, but I really think that what Tony Gonzalez does is he makes you think about where he is so much that it's very easy to lose track of somebody else.
Alexander with 8 touchdown catches this season. They'll try the extra point on the Sauerbrunn hole in the Kendall Gammon Center. It's up by Peterson. So a familiar tandem, Gerback to Alexander, and the Chiefs down 35-17. It's a 31-yard return by the much-traveled David Dunn.
The touchdown actually wasn't a blown coverage. Here's your man-to-man matchup right here. Tony Gonzalez arc releases. He gets caught in a little pick situation right here. You see Charles Woodson get bumped off. Derek Alexander breaks free. Nice job of play calling. Nice job of execution. Picks are illegal in football, but if you disguise them well enough, they can't see them.
You know something about that, do you?
Once in a while, I was the designated pick person. I was never on the receiving end, but I was always the guy that got bumped around by everybody. I don't think they're that big. I don't think they cover that much ground. So I think he was definitely outside the box, which gives him the ability to throw the ball out of bounds.
2nd down 10. Good block by Willis. The throw caught by Alexander, and there he goes. A foot race. He'll be in for 6. 48-yard touchdown pass, and Alexander gets his 2nd touchdown reception of the day.
That's just, you can see the frustration on John Gruden's face. How can that happen in this situation? That's the one thing that you can't let happen. Make them throw the ball underneath, let them take the short passes, keep them in bounds, keep the clock running. But you see here, it's the deep end that everybody talks about. It opens up. Elvis Gerback makes the throw, but, man, I do not understand that in that situation.
Gerback has now thrown 2 or more touchdowns in 7 consecutive games. The hold by Sauerbrunn and the extra point by Peterson is up and in. And Kansas City may be back in business. 8:19 to play, trailing 35-24. By Dunn.
And you see Elvis getting a little bit of a pressure as he steps up and throws. He finds Derek Alexander on the deep end. The safety was taken away by a post route that cleared everything out. It's just unacceptable in that situation. Here you'll see these 2 inside guys will cross. The deep end will come here. The post will take that safety out of there. That's how he became so wide open. But this is a basic play. This is a fundamental play in the Kansas City Chiefs offense. They should have never let that situation happen at that stage of the football game.
Rams offense. From the 35. We're back to the sideline. That one is caught. Should be good for a first down. Alexander tackled by Woodson. Gain of 5 on the play. On 2nd and 3.
And tackled in bounds by Charles Woodson, which keeps the clock moving.
brought down by Anthony Dorsett, gain of 16 yards. Gerback today has a career-high passing 435 yards.
He has to with the way they've run the football. It's really been their only option today is throwing the football. And I just, you know, Gunther talked he would do anything to win this football game. He'd throw the ball 100 times if he had to. I didn't think he was serious.
From the 17, first and 10, caught by Alexander. He's caught 2 touchdown passes today. Loses his footing at the Raider 8. And shy of a first down by about a yard. We've reached the 2-minute warning. The Chiefs will have 2 timeouts remaining. They're down by a ton, 42-24.
It's their season right now. They can get close, but they just can't take that final step to push them back into contention.
32-yard line, second down 9. Pass caught by slippery Alexander. Finally grabbed by Pope and past the 40-yard line, down at about the 41, close to a first down, gain of 8.
A difficult situation for the Chiefs to be in right now. They know that there's not a chance.
The tempo.
Gerback, quick pass. Alexander has it, 35, 37-yard line. Boy, Gerback just snapped that one off of his shoulder.
Well, that is some play by Elvis Gerback. The blitz is coming. They can't pick it up, but he hangs in there to let Derek Alexander. Oh, nice route. But look at his tackle by Plummer. Hustles, gets up, probably stops him from getting about 10 more yards.
First catch today.
Keep the playoffs going, but the 49ers at 2-8, they have played like the desperate team.
Gerback going to go deep down the far sideline. It is complete. Derek Alexander has a first down for the Chiefs inside the 25-yard line.
The ball's in the air. Who can make the play? The offensive guy, Derek Alexander, against Ahmed Plummer at the top of your screen. It's in the air. Oh, good job by Plummer. He turns and is trying to get there, but Alexander cuts underneath him and makes the catch. Well, I tell you, that's just terrific athletic skill by a wide receiver taking advantage of it.
First down.
Not down 14-0, and another fumble with the Bills having the ball deep in their territory.
Only 2 first downs so far. Play action. Gerback to the sideline. Put that one on a string, and it's caught. Derek Alexander with a 15-yard grab. He now has 48 catches on the year.
The old Michigan teammates hooking up. Watch Derek Alexander. Great job of selling the go route. Coming back, making Anton Winfield think he's going deep. Nice comeback route. Elvis Gerback, very strong arm. Those two are on the same wavelength. Played together in college and had a lot of years together. Derek Alexander is proving to be a big-time go-to receiver this year. A lot of guts going across the middle, taking shots and everything. Even though it was minimal, automatic first.
First down from the 41-yard line for the Chiefs, trying to get something going. Trailing 7-0. Gerback down the seam. Beautiful catch. Derek Alexander, a pickup of 20. Wow. He climbed the ladder and came down with the ball in traffic.
And Elvis Gerback told us they're going to have to take advantage of the middle of the field. Watch Alexander line up in the slot, running a deep crossing route, coming across, ball high. Nice job protecting it with your body. Winfield there for the shot. Big throw, big catch, and that's what Alexander's done this year. He's made plays outside, but he's had a lot of guts over the middle. Not a lot of the great receivers really want to go over the middle.
2 catches, 35 yards. Gerback flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run down the field. Incomplete. Alexander did not keep both feet in bounds.
And what a throw by Elvis Gerback. And Alexander's saying he dragged his foot. And right now he's calling for a replay. He's saying he tapped that foot. The old drag. He's going to say that he got that front foot down. Let's see if he tips his back. There's the catch right there. There's the drag. Exactly. He's right. He's calling for the review. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're phoning down to the booth. One heck of a play right there. We saw a play last week, San Diego Chargers, lazy. And they're going to check it out, Gus. We saw a play last week, Curtis Conway, lazy, almost the same exact play, going out of bounds, didn't drag his foot.
So Dick Hantak heads to the monitor.
We already made the call for Dick.
Yes, we did.
It's a catch. I'll save him some time. That's a big-time play by a big-time receiver. And what people won't talk about is the throw by Elvis Grbac rolling out of the pocket and putting it right on the money. And what a heck of a job having that sideline awareness by Derek Alexander.
The potential for a 35-yard gain. Derek Alexander, who had 3 consecutive 100-yard games, and that streak was snapped last week against San Francisco, having a career year.
And guys, it's tough for referees to see that drag because a lot of times they look for that other foot trying to step down. But when you take a long stride, sometimes by the sideline, you can't tap. So instead of tapping, you got to drag that foot, and it's tough to see in live action.
And remember, in that corner, there's shade down there, especially on the sideline, so it's quite difficult to see it.
Oh, don't give the referees excuses.
Yeah,
guys.
you protect these guys. And he's going to the other side. In the shade.
There's the front feet. Look at that back foot. Little ballerina move. Watch that drag. You can see the toe down. The front foot is clearly in. Got the ball. Got possession. Here comes the drag. You can just see it. Great job. Remember, it's got to be irrefutable evidence, Gus, to overturn the call on the field. That is irrefutable evidence. That is a catch.
Derek Alexander started his career with the Cleveland Browns, then played in Baltimore, and now here in Kansas City. 10 100-yard games in his career as Wade Phillips looks on, and Gunther Cunningham. Only 52 plays all season have been overturned. And this should be number 53.
And what's really amazing, this Kansas City Chiefs team has been outplayed this whole game, and they're going to have the ball down inside the 5, ready to tie up the score. And that's being a little fortunate.
Here's Dick Hantak.
After reviewing the play, the ruling will be a completed pass. The left foot was down. He drugged the right foot. It will be a 1st and goal on the 4-yard line.
So
the
here
4-yard line.
Here come the Chiefs.
Charge the timeout.
Alexander with the big play, and he talked to Gunther Cunningham about somehow being able to come up with some big plays.
They're taking more shots downfield, and Gunther Cunningham have said they might even use him in a punt return situation or two today. He's got some great moves, some real shakes, some great elusiveness. So before this game's over, we might see him back there.
Makes it 1st down and goal from the 4-yard.
You rarely see that call.
Makes it 2nd down and a long 18 yards from midfield. The 1st down marker is at the 32. Grbac sets up to the sideline. Oh my goodness. Derek Alexander, what a catch. This guy having an awesome season.
He is, and watch him get up on this comeback route. You got to push downfield, make the defensive back think you're going deep. Once he turns his shoulder, stop, peel back out. Does a great job catching the ball up high, away from his body, fingertips back, having the presence of mind to get his feet in.
Derek Alexander, 4 catches, 87 yards. 3rd down and short from the 33. They need a yard. Here's a play-action fake again. Alexander finds a soft spot and picks up the 1st down at the 20-yard line. Henry Jones with the tackle, but it's a gain of 18.
And Gus, they're going to run a little play action here. Try to get Alexander deep on the post. The Buffalo Bills don't bite on it. Watch, he's going to start going to the post. Then he's going to realize he's covered. He's going to hook it up and stop right now. Great communication, nonverbal communication with his quarterback, Elvis Grbac. Safety stays on top. He cuts it back, comes back. Big 1st down. That's great communication.
Alexander goes over the 100-yard mark. 5 catches, 105. Tony Richardson. And he is upended.
Take advantage of certain matchups they get from formations.
They run the reverse. Alexander. And Derek Alexander will be about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. He picked up 8. Needed 10. The Chiefs will punt.
You know, I don't mind running a reverse. They'll run a reverse on third. And Gus, this Kansas City Chiefs team was sleepwalking in the first half, really came out inspired in the second half. And this game is going to have playoff implications down the line in the tiebreaker for the wild card.
1st and 10 from the 43 for Elvis Grbac. And he delivers. Derek Alexander inside Buffalo territory. Gets out of bounds. A gain of 20. And the AFC wildcard race is what it's all about. 3 teams will advance. Buffalo 45 for a first down.
That would have been a huge play. Huge play.
Derek Alexander, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Grbac winds up. Alexander with the catch and a first down.
Get your guys up to the line of scrimmage. We only got 15 seconds left. You got to get up and spike it. Too many people walking back to the line of scrimmage. Get up there. Let's go, hustle it up, throw it down.
And Grbac spikes it.
He's been there to run the ball, and even though at the running back position they've mixed and matched, he's been the constant steady in the backfield.
Warren Moon still does not have an incomplete pass on the year, and that streak will continue. Derek Alexander takes a hit and holds on to the football. Michael Dumas, the hard-hitting free safety, came in to give him a lick.
Warren Moon's like a fine wine. And I said it was like just riding a bicycle. Well, it is. And you'd think Warren Moon would go deep with the ball. That's what he would like to do. But he's going to take what the defense gives him. He's a smart quarterback. Obviously, he's been around forever. And the key to this, he's getting the defense to respect the short pass and step up. And he's going to take his shots at Rodney Harrison, the strong safety. Has a bad hamstring, only 6 snaps last week.
Also, Riley's team was unable to hold on for the win. 1st and 10 from the 30 for Warren Moon and the Chiefs. Throwing on first down, a good route, and Derek Alexander is driven back. If they give him progress, it'll be a new set of downs. Fakir Brown with the coverage. And we've hit the 2-minute warning in the second quarter. San Diego 0-11. They lead Kansas City.
Something out of his offense. And I think they're trying to throw the ball vertically, but they have to get the ball to Tony Gonzalez. I don't care if it's a quick screen to the outside, a little dump off in the middle. He needs to touch the ball.
Play action. Here's Moon. Deep ball. Wide open. Derek Alexander is brought down at the 10. He beat Fakir Brown on the play. And there was almost enough separation to take it the distance.
This is just Derek Alexander using his speed one-on-one on the outside. A good fake pump by Warren Moon, but he's only going one direction. There's the play action fake. Get the linebackers to step up now. Get rid of the ball. Excellent timing by Warren Moon and Derek Alexander. That ball's placed perfectly out in front. I mean, you can't get a better ball than that thrown or caught.
Alexander has already gone over 1,000 yards this season receiving, having his best year as a pro. The only touchdown Kansas City has put on the board was a return off an This crowd is charged up. Riley can almost taste it. On a 4th and 9. Here's Moon stepping up, throwing to the sideline. Catch is made and a first down. Derek Alexander keeps this drive alive on the pinpoint pass from Moon.
And all Warren Moon wanted was a 10 or 11-yard out. He gets it from Derek Alexander. You push it to the inside where you've been throwing the ball, plant. Turn to the outside. The ball's a timing pattern. It's on time. That's where they've had success. I said it before. They've been picking the Chargers apart on the outside, but they continue to force it on the inside. But when they have to have it, they get the ball back to the outside of the field.
Now, first things first, they had to move the chains. Now they have to start thinking about getting into field goal range.
How do you describe Derek Alexander's style? How come people laugh when I ask that question?
He's an old man. Behind 2 deep threats and an all-pro tight end, the Chiefs have changed their tune.
Well, I think we've had to because our running game hasn't been working out that good for us.
Jaws opens the playbook on Kansas City's all-out air attack.
You feel that every throw that you make, they're going to catch it, and they're going to make big plays for you.
Plus, what the legacy of a fallen hero may have left behind when Monday Night Countdown continues. Elvis is back in the building.
He's our catalyst out there. He's our general. He's the guy. He's the signal caller.
You could sense their confidence was a little boosted. They had their guy back in there, the guy who runs the show, and really gets things going for them.
In the Kansas City Calamity, is the offense the only bright spot? All that and more when Monday Night Countdown continues. Turn our focus to tonight's game a little bit. And Elvis Grbac back in the starting lineup for KC. More on him and the Chiefs passing offense. Back to Ann Werner in Foxborough. Ann.
All right, thanks, Mike. Well, while the Chiefs' running game has been almost non-existent this season, it ranks 28th in the league, the passing game is thriving. Elvis Grbac is backing up last season's career-high marks with another solid performance this year. He ranks second in the AFC with 23 touchdown passes. Derek Alexander, Sylvester Morris, and Tony Gonzalez have been on the receiving end of most of those scores. The veteran, the rookie, and the tight end. 3 different targets, 3 different styles.
Derek he's sly out there. He is one of those guys that he loves to get the ball in his hands really quickly, and then he can make a guy miss and really take it, 80, 90 yards, whatever.
How do you describe Derek Alexander's style?
Oh, dude.
How come people laugh when I ask that question?
He's an old man.
29-year-old Derek Alexander has recorded his 3rd 1,000-yard season, his first in 3 years with the Chiefs. And he's tied his career high with 9 touchdown catches. Eye-popping numbers for a guy who teammates joke has suspect practice habits.
And as far as I'm concerned, if you want to be lazy, I don't care if he takes 1 rep in practice. Just go out there and keep doing the same thing you've been doing. Keep making big plays for us.
The rookie, Sylvester Morris, has garnered his share of the spotlight. The Chiefs' first-round draft pick out of Jackson State leads NFL rookies in receiving yards with 583.
He goes to the other guys, and he asks questions to the coaches, to me, to the wide receivers. What should I do on this route? How do you want this route run? Or how should I do this? Or, can I use my elbow on a push-off or here or there?
There's one play from San Diego where he jumps up, it's in the end zone. He scored a touchdown on it. The guy had perfect coverage on him. Elvis just threw it up in the air. I mean, the guy's 6'3", has probably 40-inch vertical jump, and he's going to be able to go up and get it in traffic.
Something Tony Gonzalez lives with every game. Despite consistently being double covered, he leads NFL tight ends in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
He's a tremendous worker. He's always out early, running and catching balls. He catches at least 100 balls nearly before practice every day. He's just a tremendous worker.
Now, Gonzalez said the receiver's success starts with Grbac and his noticeable boost in conference this season in confidence. Mike, Gonzalez said you can see it in Gerbac's eyes. He knows what's going on. He's putting the ball right where only we can get it.
Yeah, he has proven to be one of the surprise quarterbacks in the NFL this year, despite the record. And let's bring Jaws in. And Ron, as we look at the playbook for the Chiefs offense, a lot of the focus is on, boy, I hate to say this to Chiefs fans, almost looks like the Raiders offense with the big plays.
Yeah, it is kind of wide open. And, despite the Chiefs' 5-7 record, Elvis Grbac is having a career year. Kansas City has abandoned its power running game in favor of a vertical Raider-like passing game. And the unique skills of Tony Gonzalez really have served as the catalyst for 46 pass plays of 20 yards or more. And only St. Louis and Denver have more. Here's Gonzalez split wide right. The Bills will match up by doubling him with safeties Henry Jones and Keon Carpenter. What the Chiefs get on the other side is single coverage. Focus on the slot. Derek Alexander working against rookie defensive back Travaris Tillman. Alexander will use his speed to attack Tillman vertically. This will force him to remain in his back pedal, creating room for Alexander in the intermediate area. Derek will widen his stem to draw linebacker Sam Rogers to the outside. This will open up the inside passing lane. Alexander will give Grbac a defined indicator by sticking his outside foot at the top of his stem. And with safety Carpenter on the other side of the field, part of the double on Gonzalez, he's in no position to be a factor in the middle of the field. This is how Gonzalez's versatility can dictate defensive matchups that favor the Chiefs.
Period. I know there's been an injury there, but they just haven't done. Back for some final thoughts on tonight's game when Monday Night Countdown continues. There's Derek Alexander. He will continue to prosper in this pass-happy Chiefs offense. Sylvester Morris, the young man, ready to go after the Pats tonight.
December 4th, 2000. The most important football game in our nation's history. The Kansas City Chiefs against the New England Patriots. The outcome will determine the 43rd President of the United States of America. After weeks of legal wrangling and politicking, Governor Bush and Vice President Gore have agreed that this is the only way to resolve their dispute. On the gridiron, on America's field of battle.
I would also be willing to abide by that result and agree not to take any legal action to challenge that result.
I was encouraged tonight that Vice President Gore called for a conclusion to this process. We all agree.
Missouri went for Bush. Should the red-clad Chiefs win tonight, George W. Bush will be the next president. Massachusetts went for Gore. Should the blue-clad Patriots prevail, Al Gore will be our next president.
I'll do what I have to do to help my country resolve this problem.
This is a truly civilized 21st century solution.
Historians 200 years from now will be studying the game plan of these two coaches.
And I think it's going to be more of the same. The Chiefs will be trying to run out the clock, and the Patriots will be looking to throw that Hail Mary pass.
Will Tony Gonzalez, Derek Alexander, and Elvis Grbac have Governor Bush humming Hail to the Chiefs before daybreak? Or will Ty Law and Lawyer Malloy be judge, jury, and executioner for Vice President Gore? The whole world watches with unparalleled anticipation when the Kansas City Chiefs visit the New England Patriots tonight on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Are you ready? When he had to go back to it just to get his reality right.
3rd down and 2. Grbac fires to the outside. A juggling catch is made by Derek Alexander. Not only getting possession after juggling it, but then picking up the 1st down, getting to the 33.
And Ty Law gambled on the interception. Watch Law 24. He's going to come real close to picking this one off, and if he does, he scores. Super concentration by Alexander, absorbing the big hit by Lawyer Malloy. But watch this. Looked like Law might have got a finger on it. For sure, Alexander never lost it as he bounces it up in the air after a couple of times.
From the 30 on each team's opening drive. 8:27 left in the quarter in New England. 3-3.
Wow, nice.
Lawyer Malloy in the mix. He was the 4th guy who had a chance to come up with it. 2nd down and 10 as it's caught by Derek Alexander. And Alexander up to the 40-yard line where he's tackled by Teddy Bruschi.
You know, Alexander sneaks up on you guys. For receivers in this league with over 250 catches, he's averaged 17 yards a catch. That's an amazing statistic. I had no idea that his credentials were that impeccable.
You know, he's had 500-yard games this season, and his 18.5 is number 1 in the AFC.
Belichick against Cunningham, as you can see. PC
is Thunderdome now. 2 enter, 1 lead.
Here is Grbac on 1st down, off the play fakes, going deep and getting free is Derek Alexander. He beats Malloy, and he'll go all the way for a touchdown. 80 yards.
That 17-yard per average just went up a little.
They get 81 officially, the line of scrimmage, the 19. And with Law and Malloy both in the picture, he beats 2 guys who've been to Pro Bowls.
And he ran away from both of them. Perfect pass by Grbac. Watch the separation here. It's over. Malloy can't even get a dive off as Alexander goes in untouched.
Well, somewhere along the way, Gunther Cunningham has turned the running by committee team into an aerial circus.
Strength of this team, especially with Grbac back. We got a Patriot hurt back at the 15-yard line, but Alexander showing that great speed.
Well, the word on Grbac earlier in the season, I remember when we called one of their games, Dan, was you could rattle him if you got good licks in on him, but he seems like he's really grown into the role here.
Yeah, and remember, he's playing with a bad finger, and that was a perfect pass.
Injury timeout prior to the extra point attempt. Point after to tie the game. Alexander with the 81-yard reception. Alexander last year, as you can see, 3 touchdowns of 80-plus yards. 2 on receptions, 1 on a run, tying the NFL single-season mark, and that was his 10th touchdown of 2000. A reminder coming up on Friday, new ABC show called Dot Comedy. It premieres at 8:30 Eastern and Pacific, 7:30 Central, right here on ABC.
You know, Bill Belichick hated seeing this touchdown play by the Chiefs because he drafted Derek Alexander when he was the head coach of the Browns. This is what he envisioned for the Browns and hates seeing for the Chiefs tonight.
He did. He coached them in Cleveland for 2 years, and then Alexander went with the team to Baltimore for 2 years. And Carl Peterson, the president and GM of the Chiefs, who's done such a great job through the years, secured the services of him in 1998. Foxborough Stadium, the
product placement person.
3rd down and 7. Patriots blitzing, pass caught. Lockett makes the catch, takes it out of bounds at the 43. 1st down. Check in with Melissa. That's Alexander making the catch.
Al, I talked to tight end Tony Gonzalez yesterday. He said one of the
2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line. Gerback. That's caught up at the 41-yard line by Alexander, who's taken down by Lawyer Malloy.
Lawyer Malloy was like an ICBM coming in on that one from his safety position. He saw it the whole way.
Cam, look at it there. Tony George, meanwhile, shaken up on the play and a little slow in getting back into the New England secondary.
And they're going to make him go off the sidelines now.
That is a very difficult position to play.
It's his first start at any position besides right guard. Gerbach with time going over the middle. Down on his knees making the catch. Derek Alexander gets down to the 25-yard line for a pickup of 22. Another big 20-yard chunk.
Well, Will Shields had his game face on before this game, and he was working out there right now. Working on the outside right here against Jay Williams. Does a nice job of just getting athletic. Oh, that's Mike Rucker there. Nice job of just getting athletic, getting his knees bent. A lot of time for Gerbach to find Derek Alexander over the middle of the field. Alexander going down on his knees to get his hands underneath that ball. Coach, you turned around a lot of programs in your day. UCLA, the Philadelphia Eagles, the St. Louis Rams, and got to ask you, I mean, is there a 4th opportunity to turn somebody around?
No, no possibility.
Gerbach with a quick pass to Derek Alexander out near the 1st down marker. And you take a look, and right now you've got Kansas City, and I know that time. 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles right now. It's 2nd and 3 from the 45. Gerbach back to pass with time and wide open. Derek Alexander gets out of bounds to stop the clock at the 27-yard line, a gain of 19.
Well, Coach Vermeil said that this is an excellent pass protecting team, and Elvis Gerbach continues to get good protection. Look how long this route takes by Derek Alexander. He's got to run the corner, Eric Davis all the way off, and then come back to the football. Another explosive play for this Chief offense.
Alexander over the 1,200-yard mark this season. Number 5 in the NFL in receiving yards coming into the day.
More importantly, going up against a lot of people, and the one guy that you haven't heard mentioned today for Carolina is Reggie White, right now at left end.
On 3rd down, they've got to get to 43 for the 1st. Pass thrown high, bobbled, and caught. Nice grab this time by Derek Alexander of hauling it in front of Eric Davis.
Reggie working up against the right tackle, Victor Riley. #1 pick a couple of years ago for the Chiefs. Tries his famous hump move right there, but you can't hump Big Vic. At 340 pounds, dropped the anchor. And here at Carolina, not complicated in their coverages, just playing their side of the field. Eric Davis trying to go for the strip and the finish there more than the ball.
After the 16-yard gain,
more umpires,
the truth. On 3rd and 2.
It's like standing in the middle of 5th Avenue at rush hour.
During Christmas time. Gerbach, all kinds of time. Rolls out wide open. Complete for the 1st down. Derek Alexander. They needed 2. They got 8.
Elvis has shown that he wants to be aggressive here in this drive, but they don't have to get it all back at once. I mean, there's openings here in this defense right now. They're giving it to him. Look at the time, though, that Elvis has gotten here today. And it's one of the problems that the Panthers tried to address in the offseason by bringing Reggie White in and signing Chuck Smith to a $24 million contract. They still don't have a consistent pass rush. And Gerbach is fired up.
Left to go. Carolina Panthers up 14-12 here in the 4th quarter. Elvis Gerbach. Derek Alexander down at the 50-yard line, a gain of 8.
You know, Kurt, it's interesting. You just said 7-11. That's what the Chiefs have lost their last 3 games by a combined 11 points. They lost on Monday night up in New England by 6. Had a chance to win that game at the end. It's right here.
Instead of
that feels good. Cleared out those sinuses. Get rid of it.
End around. Derek Alexander slipped a couple of tackles and slipped more into the open field. Caught from behind and loses the football.
See Sean Gilbert pulling a leg.
Coaches cannot challenge.
Here's Alexander trying to get a few more yards. Right now, all he needs to go do is get down. Lester Town strips the ball for the second time today. That's Jason Dunn.
He and Doug Evans, the first two guys in there, but they'll never be able to sort that out.
It's a definite fumble. Nobody wants to make that decision.
Well, he hasn't said they're going to review it yet. He said they're going to talk to the replay booth.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, it's a critical play right here. Ball's out. Two teams desperate for a victory.
Now, the one question in fairness is, how can you figure out who recovers the ball?
I don't know how you can. There's no official here, Kurt. None around that area there that has a good look at it. And you see Jason Dunn and Doug Evans now fighting for it. Nobody has possession right there, and nobody can see it.
From that point on, it's anybody's
guess. Well, once
guess.
Tony Gonzalez comes in there, and he's the one that is trying to wrestle it away.
The replay booth had not heard the announcement from the field that the runner was ruled down by contact. That is not reviewable. Therefore, it's 1st and 10, Kansas City. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 15 seconds.
So after all that, why were they trying to sort it out then if he was ruled down by contact?
Yeah,
that means the fumble never occurred.
Yeah, but where's he down here? The ball is, well, I mean, we see the ball there. Nobody's down yet. They call that possession right there.
And down by contact is not reviewable. So I don't understand why they were trying to sort
on a fumble. 1st down and 10 from the 47. Fake handoff. Gerback sets, lines up, fires a pass, and it's caught by Alexander at the 35. Breaks a couple tackles and is brought down by Jimmy Spencer. It's a gain of 25 yards to the Denver Bronco 28-yard line.
Absolutely amazing to me that they can continue to execute this play the way they do. This is a play-action pass. The linebackers will get pulled up. Derek Alexander will find that seam in between the linebackers and the safeties. This is a deep in route. It's the staple of their offense. It's in their play-action passing game. Denver has got to find a way to stop this play, or they will expose them all day with that.
1st down, catch by Alexander from the 28 of Denver. Hand off to Rich. 1st down for Kansas City, 44-yard line of Denver. Gonzalez in motion. A fake handoff to Richardson. Good block by Blackshear, and a pass right on the money, and it's caught by Alexander, slithering his way inside the 25 for a gain of 20 to the Denver 23-yard line. They're working on the corner across the way. That's Billy Jenkins.
And what Derek Alexander does a great job of is finishing routes up at the top. You'll see him shut this one down on a little hitch route. Remember that route, because later in the day they will move that depth back, but he does a great job of exploding through the top of routes. He's got that cushion in the coverage because of his deep play threat ability. They should be able to take shots like that all day long until they want to adjust and move up.
Alexander, number 4 in the NFL in receiving yards. Has 71 catches for the season. 1st and 10 from the Denver 24. Gerback again, plenty of time. Now throws, looking deep, and for Alexander, incomplete on the side. Jimmy Spencer was on him.
Linebacker for the Broncos told us yesterday he requested the assignment of All-Pro Tony Gonzalez. He covered him on the last play, covered him very well. Back to you.
2nd and 20, thank you, Bees. Here comes Price, but there goes the pass, and it's caught by the slippery Alexander, spinning to the 27-yard line, and they have to get all the way down to the 15, so a ways to go. That was a gain of 8 right there. Boy, do we have a great second game on deck. Indianapolis 1 rushing yards today. 47-yard line. Dunn is in motion. Fake handoff to Richardson. Good time for Gerback. Throws a pass downfield, bobbled, and I believe caught by Alexander at the 18. He kind of bobbled it there at the very end. You didn't know if he really had full grasp of it, but they mark it a completion. 29-yard line of Denver.
And there goes Derek out of the slot. Here's that deep in route again that we talked about. They get down the field about 18 yards. That ball is thrown on time well by Elvis Gerback. As soon as he came out of his break, that ball was coming in.
1,000-yard receiving season, his first as a Chief for Alexander. 1st and 10, Chiefs at the 20 finish. And Ravens would win because they played more AFC games and won. You see the Jets, the Colts in Miami later today. That is a huge game. 2nd down, 7 from the 36. Good block. Gerback is hit. The pass is caught by Alexander at the 45. Belted on the play by Jenkins. It's a gain of 8. And it is a Kansas City 1st down.
This is a blitz that they've seen a lot. It's going to be here and here, but Tony Richardson needs to take the inside blitzer. As Al Wilson comes inside, he's already committed himself to Bill Romanowski. Take the blitzer with the shortest angle to the quarterback. Al Wilson was on the inside. Tony got caught up with Bill Romanowski on the outside. Elvis stands in, delivers the ball, and then Derek Alexander, a nice catch.
A lot of hurries today. 1st and 10 for City, a 3-point lead. 3 timeouts, 1st and 10. Gonzalez on the move, and it's the end around to Alexander. He's being chased by Buckley. He's down the side. He picks up the 1st down as they mark it at the 35, a gain of 11.
And this is a play that you can set up because of the success in your run game. They motion Tony Gonzalez across, show that run formation, and Derek Alexander comes around on the reverse. And right here, he does a great job at the end because it looked like Terrell Buckley had taken a really nice angle to maybe make that a minimum gain. But you'll see as he comes around right here, Terrell in the middle of the field as he's trailing him across in motion. But right there, he kind of hesitates and waits and allows Derek to get to the corner, get a nice gain.
Chiefs have a season
from the. Well, a nice ovation from the fans that did come to the Georgia Dome for Warren Moon, wrapping up his professional football career. 23 years of pro football, 6 of them in the CFL. Gerback throwing to the sideline, and Derek Alexander getting involved as Ray Buchanan makes the stop. And the clock is moving now, 1:48 and ticking left in the 1st half.
It's about time I think they threw the ball to Alexander's side of the field. That's the first reception of the day. And for him, he just set the all-time record of receiving yards for the Kansas City Chiefs, passing Carlos Carson.
Stepping up, Gerback forced to run it and brought down at midfield, short of a 1st down by Patrick Kearney. So Derek Alexander gets into the Chiefs record book. Most yards in a season receiving. On the handoff, and that play just Gerback hit Gonzalez. But it's the Chiefs trailing the Falcons 13-7 as we start play here in the 3rd quarter. And a 1st and 10 for the Chiefs from the 20, a double tight end set, Gonzalez and Dunn. Gerback wants to throw it on 1st down. Wide open is Derek Alexander, and he is spun down out across the 27-yard line by Crockett. A gain of 7.
Now, for this team, after last week's performance running the football, I'm just shocked that they didn't come in here with the mentality that Tony Richardson, you're touching the ball 25 times. But what they've been able to do is move the ball around, get it to Derek Alexander, get it to Tony Gonzalez. And those are 2 keys on their offense. Very quietly, Sylvester Morris, the last couple of weeks, he's been shut down in this offense. He started off on fire when the season.
In the 3rd quarter. And the Falcons leading the Chiefs 19-7. Gerback to throw. Sideline route brought in by Alexander, and a 1st down for Kansas City as he is brought down at the 46. End of the 3rd, Falcons 19, Chiefs 7. We'll come back after this word from your local station. Loss in Atlanta to wrap things up. That would mean a loss to San Diego, the only team to lose to the Chargers this year, and they'll become one of only a handful of teams to lose to the Falcons, who came in riding a 6-game losing streak, having dropped 11 of their last 12. There's a